I loved Zombieland Double Tap. This is the second Zombieland film. It was released in 2019. It's directed by Ruben Fleischer. It's written by Rhett Reese, Paul Wernick, and David Callahan. And we have a cast including, of course, Woody Harrelson, Jesse Eisenberg, Emma Stone, and Abigail Breslin. We also have Zoey Deutch as Madison, who is a pretty brilliant character. I won't say too much about her, but I rather liked what she brought to this. And this is set sometime after the first film. And if you're unaware of the first film, basically it's about focusing on primarily 4 people who have survived this zombie attack, and pretty much everybody has become zombies, and they are surviving, traveling around, going to different places. Honestly, the zombies aside, sounds like a bit of a dream, having free reign of everywhere. And we do go to some pretty interesting places, and we meet, of course, some characters along the way. And what I will say is this is not a criticism necessarily, but for the first half of the film, maybe even the first 2/3, there's not a lot of narrative. There's some character development between the relationships between the characters, but there's not a lot of story. But it's so funny, it's so well written, the performances are brilliant, that I really didn't mind that at all, and I still found it to be an absolute delight. And I'm usually very narrative driven. Narrative first and foremost, then driven by characters. But I found it to be just so fun and so engaging and such a joy. And I don't want to say too much about what happens as we go into it, but I really, really thoroughly enjoyed this. And I won't say what happens at the end, but I got to the end and thought, why aren't they doing a third one? And I googled it, and I can see no evidence of a third one. But I really hope that we'll get one day, because I thought this was fabulous. It has 6.7 out of 10 across 214,000 reviews and ratings on IMDb, which, for a sequel, is a fantastic rating. And I just thought it was absolutely fabulous. So well written, great performances. I loved it. I loved every second. Beautifully shot, really creative, really entertaining. If you liked the first film, I think you'll absolutely adore this. Part of me wants to say it's slightly better than the first film. I don't know for certain. I'm not sure. I don't want to write that down in stone and make that official, but it's certainly as good as the first film. As I said, maybe it's lacking in narrative for a little bit, actually for a good chunk of the film. But nevertheless, I still found it to be really fun, really entertaining, very funny, and it takes a lot to make me laugh when it comes to films. Something I've mentioned before, comedies, sitcoms, so funny. Comedy TV shows are just so funny, and when they're done right, of course. But with comedy films, it does take a lot to make me laugh. And Zombieland Double Tap managed to do that, so I'm very happy. Great film, very funny, very creative, great performances. Ultimately, not only do I not have any complaints, but I want to go back and watch the first one again now. Absolutely loved it. Zombie Double Tap is an absolute delight. If you liked the first film, I'm very confident you'll enjoy this one. And even if you hated the first film, you probably won't like this. But if you're kind of on the fence with the first film, I'd say this one might be worth giving a go, because I still think it's pretty brilliant and ultimately a film that made me very happy. The best viewing experience I've had in quite a while. Zombieland Double Tap is an absolute joy, and I am very happy to recommend it.